Generally speaking, I like well-established offenses that add players whose natural skill set fits well with that offense. And to me, there's a natural fit with Justin Fields and what that offense does. They're going to use their run game, play action pass. And also, if you have a quarterback that has athletic ability like Justin Fields does, then you use him to work the pocket, climb the pocket, and then be able to run the football. But that's not the most interesting one. To me, the most interesting play is the New England Patriots. And here's what we know about the Patriots. We know defensively they're going to be getting a lot of guys back from COVID opt-outs and injuries. So we know defensively they'll get some guys back. Offensively, they added Jonnu Smith, Trent Brown, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar. So they're going to be able to protect the quarterback much better. They gave the quarterback some options to get the ball out of his hands. And if you can get a guy like Justin Fields who can be groomed a little bit under Cam Newton, and then if Cam just doesn't have the gear that we all think that Cam could bounce back and have, then Justin Fields actually plays. To me, that makes a bunch of sense. And here's something to remember, Brandon. I think this is important. As bad a year as Cam seemed to have, as bad a year as the Patriots seemed to have, they ended up 7-9. So you had a terrible quarterback, and things just didn't work out, especially because guys opted out and things like that on the defensive side of the ball. They still were 7-9. If you could get all those additions offensively, guys back from COVID, and a quarterback that can help you win games and not turn the ball over, now you got a team that is in over 500 football team vying for a playoff spot. So to me, the most interesting is the New England Patriots.
Then that means the Patriots move all the way up to 3 or 4. Well, they can't go to 3. They move up to 4, and Justin Fields slides. I don't see him sliding. I don't see him falling. I just don't see it. But it is interesting. You make some great points. You also have some interesting teams out there like the Falcons that's attending. And then obviously you have the 49ers, the big two. I call them the big two, the 49ers and the Jets. Look, I like them in New York. You guys have heard me for weeks talk about Justin Fields and the Jets. Hell, I just tweeted Woody Johnson this morning. He's asking what should we do with the number 2 pick. Well, Woody, Justin, I'm telling you right now, buddy, I'll give you a call after the show. And the reason why I like it, one, because yes, I'm a big Jets fan. I love the organization, and it's time. New York Jets, it's time. It'll be great for football, it'll be great for the city, and if you go there and win, you're a king forever. This fan base have been dying for a winner, and we came close years ago when you had Sanchez and you had Rex Ryan, that great defense, and Darrelle Revis and all those other guys. So you insert him with Mike LaFleur, Matt LaFleur's brother, who comes from the Shanahan tree. It's a great offense for this type of talent to be in. He can come in, they understand how to develop quarterbacks, and they also put their quarterbacks in good spots. They utilize their best skill sets. But also an intriguing team is the 49ers because of Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is just phenomenal. When we talk about some of the great offensive minds out there, you got Sean McVay, you got Josh McDaniels, and you also have Kyle Shanahan sitting right there. What he's done with that Shanahan offense, he's added some college flair in there, some tempo, and he's just lights out calling it and also drawing it up. So I have to go with the Jets, obviously, but the big two for me, Nick, is the Jets and the 49ers.
So this show skews very favorably to Justin Fields. Brandon thinks he should go number 2. I think he will go number 3. But let's, for the moment, assume the odds makers, because you can gamble on this stuff, are correct. And the odds makers say, we know who's going number 1. We know who's going number 2 in Zach Wilson. And we almost know who's going number 3, and they say it's Mac Jones. So let's remove those teams for a moment. I know everyone talks about Atlanta drafting a quarterback. I don't think those people have looked at what Atlanta did with Matt Ryan's contract. He is absolutely tied to them for this year and the 2022 season. It's a dead cap hit of $40 million to move off Matt Ryan after next year. So I think you can remove them. The next team on that list then is Denver. And if Justin Fields slides to 9 and Denver doesn't take him, given their quarterback depth chart, it is an unforgivable mistake by John Elway. Denver right now has the saddest quarterback depth chart maybe in modern NFL history. It is Drew Lock. It is then Rippon, the nephew of the good Rippon, and then who's the third guy? Oh, Driscoll, Jeff Driscoll. And that is because since John Elway has taken over, no team has had more bites at the apple almost at quarterback, and certainly no team has been worse at it. Elway took over after they drafted Tebow, and here's what he's done. He drafted Brock Osweiler, Zach Dysert, 7th rounder, Trevor Siemian, 7th rounder, and by the way, Siemian for 7th rounder, that was fine. Paxton Lynch, maybe the worst first-round pick at quarterback ever. Honestly, it might be Paxton Lynch. Chad Kelly and then Drew Lock in the 2nd round. So they keep trying to get a quarterback, and they keep failing. So I don't root for the Broncos. They're in the AFC West, longtime rivals. The only Bronco I've ever liked are Shannon Sharp and Mark Schlereth. But if
Dang, I played
Justin
for the Broncos.
Fields slides to 9.
Wow.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's right.
Jeez.
That's right. My bad. I don't think of you as a Bronco.
Buddy, I was drafted in 2006 there.
I know. That's a
Not
bad
fair,
job
you
by
played for
me.
all the teams,
I don't associate you with the Broncos. I associate you with the Jets and the Bears. You're right.
Yeah,
I should have said the only longtime Bronco. You're right. My apologies. As soon as I said it, I was like, oh, damn. I just try to move past it. And Wilds, you're right, Brandon, my bad. It's terrible. And the Broncos, though, have been drafting like they have a quarterback. They spent their 1st-round pick 2 years ago on a tight end, Fant, and they spent their 1st and 2nd-round picks on wide receivers last year in Judy and Hamler. They just need the quarterback. It ain't Locke. So it is interesting to me, the idea of Fields, if he slides Wilds, the Broncos scooping him up.
All right, I'm going to dig into what you just said, because you said a bunch of mediocre quarterbacks and one great one. And the great one was John Elway. Do you think that there's something in John Elway's genius, or maybe the ease at which the position came to him, that gives him a blind spot in evaluating these guys, Nick? Because you've seen it go the other way, where like Jerry West is magnificent at scouting talent. But you've also heard like Magic Johnson or other great players.
Elgin Baylor.
I wouldn't do it.
Great Elgin Baylor was bad at it. Yeah,
so
Jordan.
do you think, just to dig into it, do you think that because Elway was so great, this is a bit of a blind spot for him somehow?
I don't know. Brian, I don't know if it's because he's so great. I think he's stuck in at this point, archaic mentality of what the quarterback has to be. He doesn't value mobility at the position, and he overvalues size. So, like, John Elway has a picture in his mind of what a quarterback is supposed to be and seems to keep drafting guys that fit that picture, even if they can't play. And so I don't know if Justin Fields fits that picture for him or not, but the tape is outstanding, and the value of getting him at 9 would be off the charts. So that, to me, is if he does fall, and I don't think he should, that's the team that has to scoop him up.
You know what, Nick? I think you're right. I mean, if he's there at 9, which I don't think he will be, because I think the Patriots actually make a play to try to get up, to try to get ahead of the Broncos. But, you brought up something interesting, Kevin. It's kind of off topic, but I played for a guy in Mike Singletary who was an absolutely great player, Hall of Fame player, but he did have a blind spot as far as the talent evaluation and getting the best out of the players, because he was so good. He was naturally so good that he couldn't figure out how to get the players in the right position, because a lot of the things he was trying to teach was something that he did naturally, probably similar to what John Elway is seeing at the quarterback position. No one's going to be John Elway again. It's going to be hard to find that guy. He's trying to find guys that's going to fit into what he did 20 years ago, and none of these guys are that. Justin Fields is probably the best prospect that you're going to get there at the 9th pick, and he can do it all. He can throw the ball. He's athletic. He will need to be groomed just a little bit, but if you're talking about picking at 9, that's the absolute pick. If he's there for the Broncos, he should be the pick as far as they go.
Jenna, Clinton Portis too.
Yeah.
I like Clinton Portis a lot. Brandon, Clinton Portis, Shannon Sharp, and Mark Schlereth. Those are the 4.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.